All the excellent companies understand that employee involvement is the key to increasing productivity, improving quality, and winning in the marketplace. But getting people to care about this kind of job isn't easy. Dana Corporation is a car and truck parts manufacturer with 89 plants in 32 states. Productivity throughout the automotive industry is notoriously low, but Dana is an exception. Over the past 10 years, the company has grown from a $1 to a $3.6 billion business and tripled its sales per employee, a phenomenal productivity gain. How was this achieved? With a management policy which places people at the top of the list as Dana's most important asset. Karen Strand runs the chassis parts plant in Oklahoma City.
Hello, Marty.
Like every Dana manager, she spends a lot of her time on the shop floor, maintaining personal contact with employees. But Karen is not a corporate watchdog. Every one of the 175 workers here is on salary. There are no time clocks and only a handful of floor supervisors. Dana's goal is to have all its plants self-managing. Karen herself enjoys an autonomy rare in American industry. So long as her plant stays in the black, corporate headquarters in Toledo will not interfere. Jerry Mitchell, Dana's chairman of the board and chief executive officer, is intent on reducing levels of management at Dana. In Mitchell's view, lean management means more room for everyone in the company to become involved, Dana's #1 objective.
We set out to take our levels of management from some 14 or 15 levels from the shop floor up to me to reduce it, and we just took a number of 5, and the logic is that 5 is better than 6, and when we get to 5, we'll go to 4. The corporate office that you're in today has 84 people, secretaries and everything. 10 years ago, it had 475. 10 years ago, it did less than $1 billion worth of business. Today, we do very nearly $4 billion worth of business.
At biannual meetings of Dana managers from all over the corporation, Mitchell sets an example by making personal contact with everyone in the room. He can handle shop talk as well as the next man. He began his own career at Dana as a machine operator 40 years ago.
Thanks, Chief. Looking after you, are they?
It's unusual for the CEO of a $4 billion corporation to be this familiar with middle-level executives. But the participation and sense of peerage Dana tries to achieve throughout the company begins here with Jerry Mitchell.
There are hundreds of years where people have grown accustomed to seeing the company as an antagonist or an adversarial relationship. What we're trying to do is to get them to have a feeling of trust, of being part of it, of identifying with what we're trying to accomplish, and if we do it, we'll survive.
One of Dana's approaches to promoting identification is keeping everyone informed. Back in Oklahoma City, Karen calls a plant-wide meeting on company time to discuss a serious problem, an oil seal production line which is producing far too many rejects. The chassis parts operation is running smoothly, but oil seals have pulled plant-wide efficiency down.
The far left-hand column, of course, is our actual results for May. The middle column is our forecast. Far right is our year-to-date numbers. Going to what we had...
It is rare for a large corporation to be as open as this with company books on the shop floor. And you can hear a pin drop. These workers know that the inefficiency in the oil seals department is affecting their lives directly.
So we had a disappointing month compared to forecast. Going over to year-to-date numbers, and in the far right-hand column is the trend of how we are now compared to where we said we'd be at Hell Week. Our sales are at $6,941,000, which is down about 200, or about $1.2 million from...
The downturned arrows mean lowered profits for the plant and accordingly reduced bonuses for employees. Since oil seals went into production here 1 year ago, no one has received a profit-sharing bonus.
And of course, oil seals down also.
Something better by God work. Because so far, if you look at the latest efficiency report, you see it's not working all that well. And we're not going to be able to just go month after month and year after year with the kind of efficiencies that we're showing now in that molding department. We have to do better. And if we don't do better, you know, I said this is an opportunity. This wasn't an ironclad guarantee that we had the business forever. And if we can't make it work and make it work profitably, they're going to find another place to put it or go out of the business.
You have to explain to them that the company has to be profitable. It has to be a viable company. or their plant can't survive, or the company can't survive, or there is no future, and you can't pay your mortgage, and you can't put the kids through school. You can't do it unless the whole thing makes a profit and is viable. And the only way that you can do that is to be competitive, and our approach to it is to get them to trust in each other, to trust Dana people, to try and get them to identify with what it is we're trying to accomplish.
Yes, we was told that we would be allowed so much money for new molds about 9 to 10 months ago. Well, in that amount of time, in 10 months, we've seen 2 new molds come in. With the molds we're running now, there's no way we're going to be able to get efficiency up. The machinery we got back there is broken down and beat up. We need better molds so we can run better parts and more parts.
It takes a long time. It takes 12 to 16 weeks to get new tooling. That doesn't include...
To be sure, there is discontent. But in this case, workers and management share the same concern, to make oil seals profitable.
Okay, I want to know why the cosmetic defects on the oil seals is so important, you know, when it doesn't affect the functional part of the oil seal. If the mold is doing it itself, it's all right. If it's not clean because we haven't cleaned it, it's not all right. And there's a lot of waste going out because the part is a good part. If the part's going to work, why throw it away? That's a waste of money.
If worse comes to worse and they do shut oil seals down, what's that going to do to chassis?
They, this mysterious they, are not going to shut oil seals down. The thing that will shut oil seals down is us right here. It's no outside influence that's going to do it to us. If the decision is made that we here in Oklahoma cannot profitably make oil seals, that's what shuts it down. The corporation is going to walk in here and say, you guys blew it. They're going to keep
Dana stays competitive by creating pride of ownership in all its employees. Profit sharing isn't enough. The company wants workers on the line to assume responsibility for the future of the company and to discover that objectives can be shared. It tries to achieve this by keeping everyone informed about company affairs and giving them the opportunity to speak out. It would be foolish to suggest that antagonism between labor and management has disappeared. But clearly, Dana workers are responding with productivity gains far beyond the industry average.
Was it chassis or was it oil seal?
Low, low. Come on, baby.
Across the bay from San Francisco in industrial Oakland, a more extreme experiment in productivity through people is underway.
$1 silver for every year you're with us.
When Tom Malone bought North American Tool and Die in 1978, it was barely breaking even. For Malone, this was an unlikely venture. He had spent 25 years as a consumer products executive and claims he couldn't even hammer a nail. But he was determined to prove that he could transform a failing business into a success just by treating people decently and allowing them the opportunity to be their best. Apple and other Silicon Valley companies depend on small job shops like North American for the precision parts that go into their computers. There are thousands of these operations, and competition is fierce. The only way to win is to keep cost low and quality very high. The specifications for these parts are in thousandths of an inch, less than the thickness of a human hair. Yet the tool and die industry is plagued by costly inefficiency and poor quality. Much of the labor is unskilled, and the work is at once demanding and a drudgery.
But what we're saying is...
Malone tackled this challenge with the fervor of an evangelist.
What do we do different here? Well, a couple of things. Number one, you got to be absolutely honest, bone honest, every day, everything you say, everything you do, every night, every dealing with every employee, every business dealing inside and outside the company, you got to be straight. Because those people have been conned for centuries, and if you con them once, the credibility's gone. Absolutely, totally gone. And they're looking at you with a crooked eye until you prove it. It took us probably 2 years until they finally realized that we were playing absolutely bone straight.
Malone sounds too good to be true, but there is no question that he has achieved stunning results. In the 6 years since he has been running the business, the reject rate on parts has dropped from 5% to a near-perfect 1/10 of 1%. Annual sales have increased from $1.8 to $7 million. Most impressively of all, profits have soared upward 700%. For this remarkable gain, Malone gives credit to the involvement and ingenuity of his blue-collar workers.
One of the things we try to do when we create this caring climate, a climate of trust, is, hey, go try it. Go try it. It may be a hell of an idea. But implicitly in there, you got to take away fear of failure. Because if you put your head out and try something, and it fails, and you get your rear end kicked, how often are you going to try it again? But if you let the gang know, hey, it's okay to screw up, it's okay, then you fly. Because then they start to really dream, and they reach out, and that's what's fun, and that's when you get the big hits. What those people can do on their own, when they know nobody's second-guessing them, you can't believe the results. And you'll see it when we go out in the shop. They do it on their own. I don't even know they're doing it. I don't understand it.
This is incredible. This is Dave. Dave, I hate, because this rat thing is how old?
26.
26. He invented this thing when he was 24 years old. Now, this is a core assembly to the matrix printer that goes into every printer that our customers sell. This is the heart of it. And Dave figured out a way, before we had to put these in one by one. What he did is to figure out a way of doing it automatically.
It makes kind of like a game because you're loading rivets in here while the machine's running by itself. And it's all spring-loaded, so while the machine's cycling, the operator can put more rivets in here. Well, it gets to where it's a game, you're trying to beat the machine all the time. It's like trying to get the rivets in before, the machine stops. And what I had to do, I had to speed the machine up because eventually the people started beating it.
Now, the real implication here is not just his genius. We use old equipment here. This isn't state-of-the-art. The difference is his genius is going back to old-fashioned American ingenuity. We're not competing anymore with job shops in the West Coast or in Chicago. We're competing against offshore. And the way we beat them is to outthink them. And that's the personification of it right here. We got a new award today. It's called the North American Tool and Die Freezer Award. Now, who knows what that's for and who won it? Anybody? Anybody got an idea? Something in the freezer. Kelly, go on, look in the freezer. Go on, go look in the freezer. Come on, hurry up.
When an employee contributes in any way to helping the company toward its goal of zero rejects, Malone makes it an occasion for proclaiming his gratitude to one and all at what he calls a superperson ceremony.
Come on up here, buddy. I warned you, kid. I warned you. Huh? All right. Oh, that's cold.
The mood of these celebrations is genuine. Sometimes Malone's effusiveness appears to embarrass his employees, but it seems they do like and respect him. The check is for $50.
Okay? Yeah. Remember this job? I went through the shop one day and I saw Kelly going in the freezer. I thought, what the hell's going on? Is he goofing off or making margaritas for Joe or what? You know what he did? He couldn't get this into here, so he said, hey, I'm going to put this in the freezer, it'll shrink, and then put the part together. And it worked. And I said, where the hell did you get that idea? He said, what? Just part of the job, right? Yeah. What else can I say, gang? Thanks. God love you, baby. God love you. And remember, no rejects. No rejects. No rejects. That's why we're here, gang. Okay, that's the North American Tool and Die Freezer Award.
Malone's feelings for the people he calls his gang are harder to fathom.
These people are good. They are good human beings. And they have been screwed their whole life. And if I can create a climate where people enjoy doing what they're doing best and take pride in what they're doing, that ain't a bad legacy.
Art, come on, baby.
Is Tom Malone truly motivated by compassion for the working class? Who can say? What is evident is that the appreciation he lavishes on his employees is producing the bottom line results that are making his business a success.
And that's why Art got super person, and naturally, no rejects. That's the part, and God love you, baby. Huh?
Okay, thanks.
God love you. Huh?